Hi there, I'm Java Jim with First Line Equipment. And as you see, my special cup right here. I'm sleepy in the morning, wake up a little smile. Inside this cup, we actually don't even sell these cups anymore. They've been sold out for quite a while, but this one's mine. It says, Buongiorno Amore. Okay, figure out what that means, comment down below. One of my favorite cups that I like to use. And today, what do we have in front of us? Technivorm coffee maker. And if you look here, oh, they put the machine box upside down. Actually, I put it upside down just so you can get attentive on how we're doing on the video here. So actually put this upside down. The machine does ship, or this coffee maker does ship in a box, an overcart, and that's just a little larger than this. This is a coffee maker that's very well known. One of my favorites for a regular coffee maker. And the reason is because it makes a good cup of coffee. Okay, not espresso, coffee. And the reason is because of temperature stability and just the design of the coffee maker on how the water basically mixes with the coffee grinds and extracts the solubles out and makes a wonderful cup of coffee. Before we get started, when you use water, I prefer to use soft water. One way to do that is we sell these BILT, built osmotic packs. They're on our website. You put it in a pitcher of water after you rinse it, and the packaging has changed every year. Basically, what it looks like is an osmotic pack, and on this osmotic pack, it could be a little moist when you receive it. And you can rinse it, and then you would just put this in a pitcher of water. And basically on this pitcher, it does need to sit for about 15 hours for it to work. So it's not a good idea to put this in the reservoir of a coffee maker, but in a pitcher and let it sit in your fridge, or put a cover, if it's room temperature, but then more often cleaning the pitcher. So you would let that sit, and you would basically want that water softened. Now, what does soften means? Remove calcium and magnesium. Why do you want to remove the calcium and magnesium? You're going to allow some of the other minerals to come through. You don't want to use distilled water, purified water, or RO water in a coffee maker, because there is no minerals to actually create what I call the extraction extraction of solubles out of the coffee grind. So you want to use soft water. So there are some other minerals that are going to pass through and then create that good extraction. Also, we have, before we get started, we have First Cup. This is our own roasted blends. We have a Colombian that we sell. We also sell a Fatto Bene at this time. We sell a medium roast. Those are really good for espresso, but they're actually also designed for regular brown coffee, or what we call American coffee. That's what the Italians call it, American coffee. So these are really good blends. They are freshly roasted to order. You may get some blooming involved if you don't let them degas enough. Typically 5 days of degassing. If you're going to go sooner, you're going to get some of that blooming involved if it's fresh, okay? So let's get started. Here's the packaging. Pretty easy to open. Okay, take the top off. There's a little handle in here that's inserted, but it's not open. First step, before you even use the coffee maker, this filter in here, instruction manual. They show a little bit here on full circle descaling powder. If you get the osmotic pack and you prevent the magnesium and calcium, you won't have to descale. I actually, years ago, we were probably one of the largest resellers of descalers. Now we're at the bottom of the list. The reason is prevention. Osmotic built water pack. So if you do get scale a lot, you may want to run some of that through. And then here, your quick brewing guide. And then again, read the manual, okay? They have some accessories in here, but read for basic cleaning, maintenance, and so forth. Okay, so we'll take out the first portion here. Move the box on the side. Looks like we have a little drip tray there. We have the brewer section there. Cap. Drip tray. And I didn't read the manual yet, but maybe you can let me know what this is for below. And a measuring scoop. Okay, so that are the items in there. And the beauty is the packaging allows you to take the machine out of the box. And then open the cardboard up. They do tuck in the plug nicely into this little section right here so it doesn't scrape or scratch the unit. There's our carafe. Now, some people may say glass carafe or stainless carafe. That's a personal preference. If you're going to be storing the coffee or consuming it over, say, an hour or two, I'm going to say the stainless insulated carafe is going to be better. If you're going to be consuming and serving it all right away, the glass will suit you fine. I do like the glass sometimes a little better for cleaning because it's a little easier to clean than the stainless. So it is a personal preference. There's the pluses and minuses to each. Okay, we got a little tag in here. Okay, hand built. Woo! There. And that's all sides of the coffee maker. Wonderful. Now, we'll get to the next segment where we're going to start brewing some wonderful coffee. Well, we waited our 15 hours. Actually, I'm a little fib right there. We actually waited a couple hours to get this water softened. So we want to make sure it's nice and soft. And basically, we inspected everything. And we want to make sure there's no damage before we use anything. So it's really important if there's any damage, don't use it. Just give us a call and let us know. This shouldn't be because the packaging is very well. So the first step is to plug in the unit and make sure that the switch is in the off position here. Okay, so we want to make sure that's in the off position. And basically the drip tray here can be inserted underneath. Okay, so we have the drip tray on the bottom there, and we would like to get the funnel here. So if you haven't commented down below, that's going to go right up here. Okay, and then let's get some water in here. The quick start guide actually tells you to plug in the unit last. I'm not sure why, but that's what it says. So kind of interesting that you don't plug the unit in first. So if we want to make 10 cups, now you're going to read all over, and if this gets 10 cups here, typically what 10 cups means is 5-ounce cups, okay? Not 10 ounce cups. It's usually 5-ounce cups, typically. So you want to make sure that if you're entertaining, you may have to make 2 batches, especially if you're going to have be serving a lot of people, maybe even 3 batches and so forth. So it's about 6 to 8 minutes per batch. So just keep that in mind. You might want an air pot or something to store the coffee before you start serving everyone. They also recommend preheating with hot water. So if you have a hot water kettle, especially if you're one of those 1 in 1,000 people or customers who can't sense heat too well in your tongue or your mouth. I do come across those where there's 1 in 1,000 that says the coffee is not hot enough. Then preheat the carafe, okay? Also rinse the carafe before first use. So we have the cap here for it. We have the funnel. We're gonna put that in here. And you could put the brand name to the front or the side, whichever one you like. We'll inject that there. Number 4 filter paper, whichever tickles your tummy. If you want the brown craft or the bleached white. I personally like the brown craft myself. Okay. Should have got it the wrong way. See, I didn't pay attention. We have some freshly roasted Colombian here, pre-ground already, but it's good to have a good grinder with the coffee maker, especially for better taste and flavor profiles. The reason is freshly roasted coffee, optimal flavor is 5 to 7 days. It starts degrading down to about day 21. At day 21, I call it supermarket coffee. So just keep that in mind, day 5 to 7. If you want more blooming, you'll use it before that, because the first 5 days is carbon dioxide leaving the coffee beans, okay? It's oxygenating and carbon dioxide is exiting the coffee beans. And that typically ends, some roasters say 3 days, some say 4. My general rule of thumb is 5 to 7. So if you're making a 10 cup, you want basically 5 scoops. And it also depends on the coffee. So if you're using dark roasted or French roast, you may want to lighten it up. The grind fineness will also play. And I think that was 4. And that should be 5. You don't want to overfill the basket because the coffee will expand. And let's get the cap in here. Now, on this particular model, we have a little lever on the side here. This is the keeping the funnel or the brew basket closed. If you're making a half a pot, you can slow down the flow because you're going to have less coffee in the basket, so there'll be less resistance, and you don't want the flow too fast. So there's basically a nice good feature right there to control the saturation. And then full pot open. So if you have a full pot that you're making, you may have overflow out of the top. So just keep that in mind. Put that in there. And let's put the cap on there. And now we'll get brewing here. So now, while it's brewing, you may want to sneak a cup in as is explained in the manual. And you might want to brew into the cup. I don't suggest that. And the reason is because the entire pot really needs to mix, okay? So it's gonna be, the coffee is gonna be stronger in the beginning and weaker to the tail end of the brew or the extraction that occurs. So I don't prefer to steal the first cup out as they suggest in the manual. I prefer that you wait for the entire pot or just make a half a pot, okay? Now, if you make the coffee grinds a little finer, it will slow down the flow. It could make the coffee stronger. More coffee in the basket can make it stronger. Darker roast can make it stronger. On the opposite end, less coffee in the basket, lighter roast can make the coffee be weaker, less bitter. So you have to find the appropriate amounts. There are guidelines, but here at First Line, I like to keep an open mind because I like to experiment with different coffees and different types of roast profiles, different types of or roast darkness or darker beans, lighter beans. It comes down to experimentation. This is not just putting a hamburger on the grill and saying, okay, I'm close to medium. You really need to find the flavor that you like using the beans that you like. So water is already going down through the brewer, and then it's actually coming up through the funnel here, and we're getting some coffee. Okay, you can hear the tinkles coming out. And if you hear the tinkles and you gotta go to the bathroom, because by the time you come back, the coffee will be ready for you. So we'll be right back. Almost done. Now, just another little tidbit before we sample and taste the coffee coming out of the Technivorm Mocha Master. If it's not working, the first thing to check is to make sure the carafe is hitting the button back here. Because if the carafe moves forward, basically what will end up happening is the unit won't work. okay? And it won't heat the water. Also, if you want to look at the blooming, you could take the cover off, okay? So you can look on what's going on inside there. And we still got a little more to go. We're almost there. You can also take the cover off. The only thing is, by taking this cover off, you're losing some heat. So if you see, there's some steam coming up. So just be careful, it'll cool down your coffee. So that's why you want that there. Okay, we're almost done. Almost there. Looking inside. Just a little bit more. And I'm going to take this out. Okay. So as you can see, still dripping a little bit. Okay. If you have a model with a hot plate on the bottom, you basically want to turn the unit off. Some of them have an auto shut off. This one doesn't have a hot plate because we have the stainless steel carafe. We'll take out this item right here, which they actually call a destratification tube. Now you can pour right into here when you're extracting or brewing, so you can do that way, but I actually prefer this because it basically allows less heat to come out of the carafe. Okay, so that's another reason I prefer that. And now let's taste the coffee. And you're probably making fun of my accent here in New Jersey. We say coffee, or so we're a little different than the rest of the United States, but I get made fun of on the phone. But if you're outside the New York area, just say, can I have a coffee? Okay, and see if people give you a strange look, because it's pretty funny, especially when I travel. Now, I do like to taste the coffee black without any milk, sugar, additives in there, because that gives you a true sense of the coffee. You can, me personally, I like to have a little half and half. That's my personal favorite, but sometimes I use milk, and then I use actually a natural sweetener. I don't use pure cane sugar, basically plant-based natural sweeteners, which has a little tinge to it, but that's just for me, my personal use. We're getting some good aroma here. Nice and hot. If it's still not hot enough for those who are the 1 in 1,000, then also preheat your cups, okay? Put some hot water in there. If it's microwave safe, preheat the cups. For me, this is hot. Absolutely delicious. This is actually a Colombian Supremo that we roast fresh. We did get a little blooming, but the coffee is about 7 to 8 days old that we have here. It was freshly ground. And just getting back to it, so we talked about the 5 to 7 days. When you grind coffee, it literally oxidizes in 7 minutes. Okay, so I have 7 days after roast and then 7 minutes use after you grind it. So that's why I prefer that you purchase a good grinder at home. If you look on our website, we'll have some package deals where you can get the coffee maker and a grinder to save some money, because we want to incentivize you to make better coffee at home or in the office. And this model right here is great for the home and for a small office. I'm glad that you made it through this far of the video. If you can, please give us a thumbs up down below, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you soon, and have a wonderful coffee day. Remember, coffee first, everything else second.